All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. I'm Android Dreams, and I will be joined shortly here by Lunaris. But right now we have a match between Gameaholic and Serberoth for GT Classic, and looking forward to a nice and tight race. So hopefully these guys will be delivering that this evening. Super Metroid multi-category tournament, of course, sponsored by Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios. Our sponsors putting up a prize pool of $750 for the multi-category tournament. So big thanks to Balls and Mega Cat Studios for their sponsorship. All right, I've got a glass of bourbon ready that I will be sipping on throughout the race. Hopefully by the end of the race, I won't be slurring too badly. All right, and here is Lunaris. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm also doing well. I spent most of my afternoon messing around with OBS and making layouts that aren't as terrible, so pretty tired of working with that.
Can you make me a dab layout that supports 4 players?
Oh, I don't make layouts. I just make everything nice and square and fill the screen.
So it's one of our late weekend matches. I believe we have a few more tomorrow, and then it's into the last week of this.
Yes, starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow, we have Diddy versus Woody, and I will be back for commentary on that one. At 4 p.m., we have Azo and Mumu Didi. And another race at 4 p.m. as well, Toasty and Aussie. And then our last race for the week. Yeah, it should be a really good one. Our last race for the week will be at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, and that is Galamaz and Derp, which should be another very good race.
You know what race I'm looking forward towards next week? I think there's only one race that's guaranteed to happen, and that is Zosti versus Zenny.
Yeah, that should be a really good race.
I just hope they pick Triple Bingo. It won't happen.
No,
Zenny's going to veto Triple Bingo.
I kind of hope that they do low percent ice just to see them showcase their skills, but
so it depends. So I think Zosti has the first veto, right?
I believe so, but you're
being.
I don't know. I'm not sure how that works actually.
I know he's Zosti vetoing low percent and then forcing Zenny to say, do you want to do any percent or do you want to do Triple Bingo? But we're here to watch Gameaholic versus Serberoth. They're starting.
Yeah, good luck to both runners. Hopefully we have a nice tight race on our hands.
Looks like we're into a GT Classic.
That's right. And off to the start in Series Station, which I don't really know what to say during this, because usually this doesn't happen in stuff that I commentate for Super Metroid.
You mostly commentate rando?
Yes.
See, I'm in charge of bingo, and in bingo, Sarah is the most critical part because it's where the runners decide what to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
But nope, so far they're just here to damage themselves down versus Ridley. Ridley is killable. There is only one category of Super Metroid speedruns which kill him, which is true completion, which literally no one does.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very fun, to be honest.
I believe it takes like 100 shots. It's a lot.
So it's like hundo and map completion plus probably an assortment of other little things like actually.
It is worse. It also includes door completion. You must open every door, not only explore the map tiles.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you for the sync. Oh, Serberoth does not get the tile deboost. Gameaholic gets a 43-31 on the way out, and Serberoth is almost a 41. Do you want to explain how the category works for our viewers who don't know?
Sure. So GT Classic is where the runners will basically be running to the Golden Chorizo room, skipping even most of your essential items like charge that you're used to seeing runners pick up. And while they're entering the door transition to GT, they will be mashing some buttons. I don't know which ones. And then if they do it right,
The magic buttons.
they will be granted everything except for screw attack, minus some E-tanks and reserves. Well, and not full ammo, but they'll have 100 missiles and 20 supers and 20 power bombs, I believe. So they get a whole slew of items, and then after that, it's really just a boss rush to the end that's going to be mostly impacted by just execution.
And they will get items that you can't even see. For example, they will get the X-ray scope. You won't be able to see it. And so a lot of it is learning how to microwave Dragon and microwave Phantoon and microwave Botwound.
And then, of course, there's also going to be...
It looks like Gameaholic accidentally paused his timer.
Well, it looks, he's going to have a great, generous PB then. After he resets.
Thankfully, SRL tracks the timers, not the local gamers, and so we will rely on Serberoths for the meantime.
After the GT code is put in, though, there are still a lot of places that the runners can experience some very poor experiences, such as during the stand-up portion of Mother Brain 2 and 3. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong and cause soft lock.
Do you think both of these runners will go for stand-up glitch, or do you think any of them will skip?
I am not really sure. I think Gameaholic knows how to do it based on what I've seen in Randomizer. Serberoth just I feel like as a runner that is so tenured, possibly also knows how to do it, but I guess it will come down to comfort for our runners.
And of course, they will have the X-ray scope, which allows us to recover from most stand-up failures and is a legal recovery in this tournament. So, of course, the GT code is a developer code that was put into the game. We have no idea why, but some sort of code that lets them start from GT and get everything they need, literally every item in the game, except for some ammo, as Android was explaining. There are several variations on the GT code category. There is GT Classic, which the runners are doing here. That is no major glitches except for the GT code and then completing the game. There is GT Max, where the runners then must collect all of the power-ups. And then there is GT Any %, also known as GT Space Time, where you use the fact that the GT code equips both the plasma and the spacer beam, which makes really, really, really weird things in the game happen. So one of the first things you will see the runners do after they activate said GT code is to turn off the spacer beam to not break the game.
And a lot of times you'll see the runners actually turn on missiles before they go into the GT room to prevent themselves from accidentally taking a shot with all the beam combo.
If you're running on emulator, it's okay, but when you fire the space-time beam or the murder beam, Gameaholic not getting good, Bomb Chorizo drops. We'll see what Serberoth gets. But if you accidentally fire either beam, space-time, or murder, then the game on console will often crash. Serberoth as well, not happy with those drops, but getting his second round and managed... Ooh, one more round needed.
Both runners at least not causing Bomb Chorizo's head to fall off, which costs you a little bit.
It's not randomizer, we're not random start, so we need those bombs to get into Brinstar. Both runners getting a solid Alcatraz, though. The Alcatraz being the little wall jump into morph escape out of BT. Smart there from Gameaholic. He missiled past most of the pirates to preserve energy, but once he hit 5 missiles with drops, he made sure to keep them, because if you don't have 5 missiles going down this elevator, then you're in for quite a bit of farm before you head into the early super missiles. Serberoth not getting quite as few drops, so we're going to have to see him farm the little whatever frog things that are
crab frog things.
Yeah, the crabs are in Meridia. I don't know what these are called.
They're like small crabs.
Nice mock ball from Gameaholic for his early supers. So yes, Serberoth, nice, got a lucky drop. First, the little frog thing. If you're unlucky, none of them will drop, and you have to reset the whole room. It's crap.
Yeah, I want to say that happened to Zost. I think it was in the Zost and is it Solski or Aussie? I can't remember. It was last round, but in their race, Zost didn't get any. Had to really work for his missile drops before getting early super.
And that is the risk you take by killing those pirates, but it preserves your health.
And Serberoth just making up a little bit of time by not grabbing Charge Beam. Charge Beam is optional to grab at this point. Gameaholic might be relying on it for freezing Kraid's hand during the quick kill. Maybe not feeling as comfortable just doing full missiles.
That definitely gives Serberoth the few seconds catch-up he needed, and now both runners are almost 100% even, although Serberoth making sure to farm that drop. So, of course, both runners need to make their way towards the GT room. Oop. Interesting. Serberoth, are you trying to kill it? I see. Serberoth choosing to kill one of the rippers at the top to make his red tower climb easier. Ooh, and it pays off. Gameaholic not quite able to get through the block before it reforms.
Yeah, I have been playing any percent for 7 actual practice days so far, so making me basically an expert on top of red tower. This is the most panic-inducing moment of a run when you struggle with this.
Ooh. Looks like Gameaholic's like, screw the rippers, kill them. Oh, but Serberoth falls into a Samus Eater. And yes, the official name of these enemies is Samus Eaters. Let no one tell you otherwise. Be eaten by all Vileplumes RTA is not a real category.
Yeah, I don't know the real names of basically anything in this game, to be honest. So.
Oh, interesting. Serberoth is heading back down. So that means he is either not comfortable with the one-tank Fantoon, or he's not comfortable with the CWJ and wants to get the speed booster before he heads down to the GT room.
Well, in GT Classic, they go to wreck ship last actually.
Yes. You only need Varia to get down to GT, as long as you get high jump and can lava dive. Choosing to get the Spazer though. What does Spazer do to help him here?
I have no idea, actually.
Things.
I guess we'll find out, though.
Things that runners better than me know. Uh-oh, Gameaholic is in the beeping area. That, obviously, besides for the risk of dying, also is difficult because it reduces the optimal strats you can take with G-boost through the preceding room.
Serberoth having a nice jump over to the crate area. That's not super easy to do from that upper flat.
Especially without high jump. Well, we'll see if... Well, Serberoth also has 0 supers. So, better hopes that he gets enough missiles out of Mini Kraid to quick kill Kraid. Gameaholic having to take that extra jump to get into Kraid's lair. Ooh, and Serberoth is... Oh, he does get the 1 extra super. He is just enough ammo for this quick kill. But choosing to take a little farm.
Yeah, Kraid Jr., when you kill him initially, will drop 4 supers, and then if you wait until the explosions finish, we'll drop or if you're full of supers, then we'll drop energy.
Both runners into Kraid around the same time. We'll see if either one wants to take Kraid to the dance. Give Kraid a fair chance. Take him to prom.
Yeah, think about the high schoolers that don't get to go to prom this year. Maybe you can make up for it here.
Serberoth not happy with that initial opening, chooses to reset. Gives Gameaholic to take the lead. Ooh, Serberoth. Ooh, okay. Now what? Oh, nope. Serberoth and Gameaholic both accepting Kraid's invitation to dance. As a child, this was the only way I knew.
Hey, even Nintendo Power didn't tell you how to quick kill.
And down goes the big boy. I guess you can say there was no after prom event for Kraid.
I dedicated most of my early childhood reading to Nintendo Power Polar Bear Bunny, so of course I would trust it.
Nintendo Power route, best route. Of course we need the grapple beam to get through Meridia. How else would we traverse those rooms? We'll see if... So, Gameaholic not choosing to take the safety tank. Then again, they'll get a bunch more tanks once they do the GT code, so I don't think safety tank is a relatively common thing here. But Lower Norfair, even going in as far as they are, is not free, and Serberoth does want that safety tank. But that gives the slight lead to Gameaholic.
All right, Gameaholic grabbing the high jump boots, and we'll be heading back out of the can room to make his way to Bubble. And it's really interesting at this point in the run to see the difference in safeties that the runners have taken. So Serberoth obviously taking that extra Kraid E-Tank. It's going to allow Serberoth to have an extra try or two in the lava dive if it's required. Gameaholic's going to have to really only going to have like 1 or maybe 2 quick tries at that lava dive if something goes wrong.
I see both of our runners choosing to get those high jump boots. I am 100% sure that a high jump lava dive is what 99% of runners do in this category, but I do wonder if a high jump list is technically faster.
There is another tier of speedrun for this where basically like the top players do a high jumpless lava dive.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the world record, because right, the GT code would give you it. The only thing you need it for is to do the lava dive itself. Gameaholic wisely taking a save before he heads into his lava dive. So I haven't seen enough GT Classic races at the top level to know if high jumpless lava dive is the world record for it.
I think it's the world record, but a lot of times in races, you'll see runners take a little bit more safety just so because a race is different than when you're just grinding against your own PB or possibly the world.
Yeah, and right, it's what? 15 seconds plus an E-tank of safety for high jump? So Serberoth did not take the safety save, but is choosing to farm. I don't know why he's farming after being at full energy, though. Does full super... Oh, he wants more supers for the green gate glitch, which means he's probably planning on skipping the save at the top of Norfair. And Gameaholic choosing to farm some more energy. Skipping the save at top of Norfair is extremely risky in this category. And I will say some spoilers for the Sloters Zosty race. So if you haven't seen that race or you don't want to know, then please close your ears. But Sloters chose not to take the save, did not get the green gate glitch, and had to reset. Uh-oh. Gameaholic not getting the lava dive. Serberoth does. Makes it through. And does take the green gate glitch save.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Serberoth ended up taking an Anamahe shot, which basically negated the extra E-tank that was picked up, but still was able to make it through.
Yeah, with only 51 energy, if he had not picked up that Kraid tank, no way he makes it through.
But even with Sloters not saving yesterday, in case if we still want to talk about that, he still technically beats Host, at least as far as finishing the game first.
Yes, it turns out that if you do GT space time, it is a lot faster. And Serberoth, one missile left. Reset. That green gate glitch is the worst, even for the top end runners. It's like you either get it first try or 10 super missiles later. One of the two.
That is how it feels. 10 or 30 or so.
Or if you're me, you go get space jump. Of course, the green gate glitch is how you get to Golden Torizo without collecting space jump to drain the acid statue. Gameaholic into his second lava dive attempt. Looking good. One more. And through. 46 energy left. Serberoth into his second green gate glitch attempt. 1, 2, 3. First try, green gate glitch for Serberoth.
Yeah, and just in case you aren't aware, the missiles through the gates, the way that works is you'll see the runners line up at least 1 pixel away from the actual gate. And then if you... Oh, go ahead.
As Serberoth walks through the gate, you'll see all of a sudden he has literally everything and 7 tanks and 100 missiles, etc., he resets his beams in order to not glitch out, and that, my friends, is the GT code.
Yep, and now we're going to see Serberoth doing exactly this, just kneeling down in between that pillar in the background and GT, and he can't touch you if you're in that certain shot.
And Gameaholic also getting through, sets up his GT code, and boom. Uh-oh. Never mind, he did not input the code. Serberoth with a nice spark out of GT, and Gameaholic has to go through the one more try.
Yeah, Gameaholic gonna have to do that green gate glitch, and just to finish explaining how that works, he'll line up away from the pillar, and as you move right to left, if you shoot while you move at the same time, you can actually clip your missile through the gate, which is how that works. You'll see our runners doing a lot of different strategies you can do as you move into it. You'll see people setting up like these guys are, jumping up. You can also see them falling down and moving right to left. So there's a ton of ways that you can actually learn how to do this.
Next try for Gameaholic. And of course, Serberoth, now having all the items he needs, will be on a boss rush to kill Ridley, then Dragon, then Phantoon, then the Golden Fort statue, trying to get the real boss of the game in Baby Skip, and then Mother.
All right, Serberoth into the metal ninja pirate room. The Gameaholic does make it through the green gate glitch.
14 health. Oh, that's close. All right, is the code correct this time? No. Meanwhile, Serberoth, farming up for Ridley, wants as many supers as you can have. Even though you have all the beams, you still want to have some ammo, as super missiles will do double damage to Ridley compared to your full plasma beam shot. Ridley's theme is so good, isn't it? Alright, Serberoth, only a few more shots and you got the big space pigeon down. Gameaholic successfully executing his code, fighting into GT.
Ridley's theme is great, but it's kind of sad that they blew all their budget on actually decorating their rooms in Zebes, so he had to share with Drake.
And of course, we don't need no stinking E-Tank, because we got 7. And 2 or 3 reserves? I can't remember how many reserves it gives you.
I think 3. I think John told me it's 3 yesterday.
More than any runner would normally pick up unless it's hundo. Gameaholic setting up for fast pillars. Oh, not quite getting the spark. But luckily with having a speed booster space jump, it's still nice and fast.
The GT glitch does not remove all of the items. It leaves the items that you haven't collected, which is also has given birth, well, I don't know, birth recently, but there's another category called GT Max Percent where you pick up the absolute minimum going into GT. And then when you exit, you actually go and then do hundo, cleaning up all the stuff, and you end up with glitched out missile counts and all sorts of fun tricks. So I think you end up with like 130% or something like that.
And then, of course, GT code is also used to set up Kill Croc's Tongue, which is the only way to get 80 power bombs to kill Croc's Tongue. Best theme. Gameaholic heading into his Ridley fight, while Serberoth heads towards Mother Dragon. Gameaholic brings down the giant space pigeon.
Serberoth having some really nice movement here on the way to Botwood. And Serberoth not setting the timer on the microwave long enough, had to pop it back in so it wasn't cold. Gameaholic making his way through the Three Musketeers and working his way out of Norfair, while Serberoth is going to grab a save, it looks like, before heading into the Dragon. Oh, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong door transition. Just heading into Aqueduct, my bad. And it looks like we're being joined by SpeedGaming. Thank you so much for coming over. If we are currently in the middle of a GT Classic race between Gameaholic and Serberoth, with Serberoth having a bit of a lead right now, but of course still plenty of time for unfortunate things to happen, and possibly Gameaholic can catch up here. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the race, but we are about to watch Serberoth microwave a little bit of shrimp. So Serberoth is kneeling here, even though you can't see the X-ray scope, does have it equipped. The reason that Serberoth's kneeling is because as you microwave Dragon, as soon as you see Samus stand up, which looks like he's going to have to microwave just a little bit longer, that's your indicator to know that Dragon has been defeated and you can stop microwave.
And of course, since we did the GT code, it is not necessary to pick up that space jump item. Looks like Gameaholic entering Meridia. Well, Serberoth must go to Rickship to face the easiest Fantoon of his life, as long as he knows how to microwave.
And while we have our runners making their way in and out of Meridia, make sure that you give these guys a follow if you're not following along.
Plasma is not necessarily a hot element. In general, we associate molecules entering a plasma state with high temperatures. But in theory, it just means that they are a free electron type molecule, which can be induced artificially at low temperatures, which I am sure is how Samus's arm cannon works. Gameaholic getting a nice microwave on Botwoon, but will it help him catch up to Serberoth?
It looks like we're also being joined by SpeedGaming 4. Welcome over to the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. You're joining us for a race between Gameaholic and Serberoth in GT Class.
Don't worry, viewers. In pretty much literally any scenario, when its plasma is truly created, it will be hot. But being a physics engineer, I enjoy being pedantic and pointing out the minuscule number of scenarios in which it is not. Getting that X-ray swap is very annoying when you can't even tell it's equipped. One of the side effects of the GT code, of course, does not show the X-ray scope or the grappling beam, even though the runners do have the item. So Fantoon is a little trickier than the other bosses to microwave. Oop! Because you have to make the eye open first. Oh, there we go. Bye, Fantoon.
Yeah,
that is a wonderful emote, Rough Cookies.
that was a really nice movement manipulation by serberoth, making sure that it had X-ray equipped before charging the shot, and then jumping to make sure that Phantoon was going to line up with the spot on the floor, so you didn't have to able to use that microwave without having to angle up.
Black magic. Ocean Spark from Serberoth to head back. Meanwhile, Gameaholic is... Oop! That's the ceiling. Gameaholic heading to his Phantoon.
All right, Gameaholic working his way into the wrecked ship as serberoth is going to go ahead and make his way into Turian. Holy cow, we've got another Speed Gaming channel joining us here. Welcome, Speed Gaming 3. You are tuning in to a GT Classic race between Gameaholic and serberoth, part of the Super Metroid multi-category tournament, proudly presented to you by Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios. Our sponsors putting up a $750 prize pool for this. And I believe it was Speed Gaming 3 that also had the Maniacal and Kish race. So if somebody could let me know how that turned out, that would be great, because I had to come over here. And Gameaholic has killed the last boss of the Golden Four, taking down Phantoon with microwave strats, and will now be headed into Turian as well. serberoth heading into the first Metroid room. We'll see how this goes. Looks like taking his time, making sure the Metroids get frozen, taking them out with super missiles and grabbing the drops. And serberoth through the third Metroid room, doing a good job of keeping the Metroids in front of him. If you get a little bit ahead of the Metroids, it can be hard to get them back onto the screen, as they have a tendency to go the opposite way after you get past them, and you have to kind of keep chasing them down. So very good job keeping the Metroids in a position where you can really handle. Gameaholic just zooming out of the wrecked ship, headed back to the surface. Going to be running by Samus's ship in here just a... Alright, and it looks like serberoth is damaging down, so don't think that we're going to see a baby skip attempt here. And of course, with a little bit of time on, Gameaholic is able to feel pretty comfortable not having to go for that. Does turn both suits back on, so also an indicator that serberoth might not be interested in going for stand-up glitch. Gameaholic entering the Golden Four-Room as Serberoth finishes up the first baby cutscene. It's going to go head for a refill. Gameaholic throwing bombs around in the Golden Four-Room. Alright, Gameaholic on the way down the Turian elevator as Serberoth goes through the last Ghidorah headed into the Zebetite room. I'm going to set up for a Zebetite skip here by freezing the Rinka below you, gathering iframes, and then you spin jump into that corner, and you actually spin jump onto the Rinka, and that's what allows you to be able to clip through the Zebetite while you still have your iframes intact. But very nicely done. Gonna freeze these Rinkas. Another thing, quality about freezing the Rinkas is their respawn timer goes on the timer of how long it would take them to be unthawed from Ice Beam. So if you didn't have Ice Beam and you killed those Rinkas, they would just instantly keep respawning. But Mother Brain 1 down for Serberoth as Gameaholic goes through the third Metroid room, looking to gather them up and knock them off with a bomb. Serberoth already a quarter of the way through the Mother Brain fight, only needing 20 full beam combo shots here. Then after the catch-up phase and Mother Brain starts charging up the Rainbow Beam, we'll see Serberoth damage himself down to 300-ish health. Oh, and actually he's going to turn off the Gravity Suit, or excuse me, Vari Suit, use the reserve. So actually he's going to be setting up for a stand-up glitch here. Math. You guys would have loved the cosine discussion that happened earlier this week. I know, right, Kevin? Math. I'm a subscriber of the philosophies of Coach McGurk, who said, anything hard in life is not worth doing, like martial arts, snowboarding, and math. Ooh, Gameaholic taking a death here. Did take a save in Turian, though. Alright, so far Serberoth not having any unfortunate circumstances unfold before him during the Mother Brain cutscene, doing stand-up. And stop shooting a little bit early, because this is one of the points when you're accepting the Hyper Beam where things are going to go wrong. So takes the Hyper Beam over from the baby and is going to shoot some Hyper Beam shots into Mother Brain 3. Gameaholic is getting ready for taking out Mother Brain, and looks like might be, it's a little bit low, I'm not sure, nothing in the reserve, so possibly while killing Mother Brain is going to be setting up for a quick Crystal Flash before the Mother Brain fight starts. It's going to need to take some damage down from the lava to get under 50, and does successfully do that. Of course, in the vanilla game, the cutscene here is a little bit longer, giving you more time to do a Crystal Flash. Serberoth already starting the escape, into the second of the escape rooms. We'll be heading out of here shortly. Serberoth into the Leodox room. And Gameaholic is working on the Mother Brain 2 fight. It does start the catch-up phase. Serberoth to the bottom of the Leodox room, gonna wall jump all the way to the top before charging up for his charge, the shaft. Serberoth into the parlor as Gameaholic waits out the cutscene here. And Serberoth has made his way onto the ship and kneels down with an official SRL time of 47 minutes and 45 seconds. A new race PB, according to SRL, by 1 minute and 13 seconds, though Serberoth says not a personal. And we've been joined by Serberoth in the chat, so congratulations on your victory, Serberoth. How did that race feel?
Heckin' Spacer.
Heckin' Spacer, is that what he said?
I don't understand why I got Spacer. There's no reason for me to go get Spacer at all. And I got Spacer. Just waste of time. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch this to see what happened. But yeah, I was sitting there, I'm going, man, I got Spacer Beam, and then when I took a chance on the lava dive, because I wasn't sure how Gameaholic's PB is like 56 something, which I think he's better than that time, and so I'm just like, well, I gotta shave time off like pretty much anywhere I can, and I know I'm pretty consistent with the lava dive, and if I miss it, it's just over and whatever. So I didn't want to take the save because I just wanted to shave time off, and the other thing with that was I figured he might pick up a couple of safeties, like he might pick up the charged missiles or the charged beam itself. I'm not sure if he does the missile only quick kill, which then I ended up screwing up. Yeah. So there was just some stuff that I knew I have to try this in order to edge him out and see if I can maybe get the W. And it seems like it worked out.
Yeah, what was your plan as far as vetoes? I didn't see the vetoes.
So actually, Gameaholic, when we were setting up the race time, he came to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, what were you thinking for race categories?" I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even look at them yet. And he's like, "Oh well, these are the categories." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And figuring usually I'd think about it later, because that's usually what I do. Is I whatever the day of, I come back to it. I'm like, "Oh, all right, now I have to figure this out." And so he was like, "Oh, by the way, you at the last multi-category tournament, this was my first race ever. You commentated on it, and it was GT Classic. Here's a clip." And just like I rewatched this clip where it's Gameaholic going through and getting the lava dive for basically the first time ever, and like I blow Stump's ears out, and probably the entire audience's too, with Gameaholic getting it, and it just made me laugh so much. And he's like, I'd want to race GT Classic because of this. And I'm like, sure, because I'll do that for that laugh. So that's why we ended up racing GT Classic.
Okay.
But
did you just explain why we raced GT Classic?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
hi, Gameaholic. Just to
Hey.
let everyone know, we have an official SRL time for Gameaholic of 50 minutes and 37 seconds, but welcome.
hey.
See, I knew you were much better than that PB. Something must have happened, though. Something must have happened. What?
Like I said, I did mess up the lava dive once, which wasn't the end of the world since I did get a save, and I did skip a E-tank, so what was it? So the timing wasn't that far off if I got in safety. Probably spent a bit more, and then I got the green gate first try, but then all of a sudden I messed up on the GT code, not once, not twice, but 3 times, since somehow I can't press all the face buttons. So GT code was apparently the hardest thing to do in this category for me.
That was me last week. I think it was like 7 or 8 times, and I was just like, okay, this is my strategy. I'm gonna use this again. This time, and like this week, since I knew we were gonna race GT Classic, I've been jamming the buttons in the same exact way, and it's been pretty consistent. Even though it's different than the way I usually jam the buttons, it just didn't work for me last week, and so I wanted to change up my strat.
Yeah, I should have tried a different thing too, because when I did the practice run, apparently it works, but I guess I just choked. And because apparently pressing 4 buttons is the hardest thing to do in this category for some reason.
Yeah. If you watch my race from last week, you'll see it's not. You can screw it up pretty easily.
Yeah, but just want to say thanks for giving the honors for racing GT Classic, since, like I said, this was my first thing I did in the GT category, and I want to say thanks for commentating my first race ever. So it was an honor to race you in this category.
No problem.
Yeah, that's actually really cool to hear. Serberoth does a ton of commentary for a lot of different Super Metroid stuff. So that's actually a pretty cool story from my perspective.
Yeah, I enjoy doing the commentary. It's fun watching. You get to watch some really awesome matches. I got to watch that Zosty match last night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what categories are you guys looking forward to next?
Not low percent.
I don't know. I'd have to be reminded what they are.
Low percent, ice, any percent, and triple bingo.
Oh,
Oh.
probably any of the 2. I'll just wing it there, but maybe I mean, if my opponent agrees with low percent, I'll probably just do it for their lulz, but I can't promise there'll be a sub 2-hour run. That much I can.
It's 200 shots on Mother Brain with ice beam only. Man. And I don't think the special beam, the ice shield, does a whole lot
And
to speed that up either.
also looks really risky to pull off too, since you gotta hug their face to do that.
Yeah, you do. You gotta jump right up in her face. And so Mother Brain's head hurts a lot. So you only have 3 E-tanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I finished this game faster than it took me to get my first time lava dive and my first GT Classic multicat.
Nice. Yeah, I do. Looking at your PB, you were going to be much faster than that time. So
It's not the category that I ran. I think that was my first time doing it all. Actually try and get a run in for once.
is that what you submitted to the
Yeah.
To the tournament that
Yeah.
time? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because like your 80% time was so much better, and I don't really run 80%, so my time's god awful. I looked at that. I'm like, there's no way that time is accurate. So I have to play to like at least 10 minutes faster than that time.
I don't have anything against GT Classic. It's just if I want to run a category with Lava Dive and Green Gate Glitch, I may as well go full out and go RBL, which is what I actually grinded in. Since ever since you commentated that run, I just wanted to practice. I wanted to grind out the Lava Dive, and I thought, well, RBO has one of the coolest lava dives, so why not practice that? And I just grinded that.
Yeah, that one's real tough. I think I finished that once. I didn't even submit a time for that category for this.
Did it feel good
this
finishing
time.
your first RBO?
I mean, yeah, at the time, but I'm just like, okay, I don't think I'll do this again. It's like hours and hours and hours to beat Ridley.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining for interviews. I don't have any other questions. Do you guys have any final thoughts to go ahead and wrap?
Just want to say thanks for playing in this category, and thanks for commentating my first ever race, since it made me want to get better at Super Metroid since then.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Android Dreams, for being commentating this race. Thanks everyone for coming out and watching.
All right, and thank you guys. And of course, if you have not given these guys a follow, make sure that you follow the link that is just posted in the chat. Give Gameaholic and serberoth a follow. Seeing that number tick up always feels good. And of course, shout outs to Linares for jumping in for some commentary for a little bit. So make sure that you give Linares a follow as well. That's going to do it here for us for the day for the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. Don't forget, tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we have our first race between Diddy and Woody. I will be back for commentary for that tomorrow morning, so definitely looking forward to that. This has been the Super Metroid multi-category tournament, sponsored by Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios, our sponsors putting up a $750 prize pool. Thank you so much to them for allowing our runners to make their hobby just a little bit sweeter. I am Android Dreams. Thank you so much for joining us here on SpeedGaming, and we'll see you next race.